Oh, right. There we go. Nana, I was just waiting for you. I was sitting at my computer saying, I'm not going live until I see Nana say hi, and now that you have, we can go live. I am just making sure I have a headphone in that works. Good morning to everybody. Hey, Bodhi. I don't normally see you around these parts. Good morning. Bluetooth. Is this on? Am I connected? I think I am. There we go. Nothing's going on in game today. At all. Like, even a little bit. So we have a lot of reviews to do once I just get my regular stuff finished in game. Beers were good. I didn't get murdered. Nomad didn't get murdered. Though, I guess we technically can't confirm that. We were over at Armada Brewing, and they had some good shit there. I actually brought home a few 4-packs. My breakfast cigar. Yeah, I know. It's not technically brunch time. Brunch time is like around 11. But the reality is, and I've said this before, I really try to make sure that streaming does not interfere with my home life and my family life. And I am an early riser. My wife likes to sleep in. So I try to do all of this stuff before she wakes up. And then we can go see a movie or something. Right? That's the way we do things here. Let's see. I knew there was an event that came in today. Also, I managed to change my camera a little bit and zoom it in a little, so I'm a little closer and you can see all the blemishes on my face. But fuck it, YOLO, I don't care. Hey, Fire Marshal. We're professional streamer. We're playing against the TW. Oh, you know what? I'll talk about TW in a minute because I find it very funny. But I knew there was a smuggler's run I gotta do. There we go. So, TW, we are playing, very annoyingly, the next guild down in our alliance. However, they're our TW guild, so they care a lot more about TW than we do. Their leader actually messaged me a few days ago, and he's like, hey, good luck. Like, it's going to be a hard fight. And I was like, no, it's not. You guys are going to win, and it's fine. What's holding here? Oh, he's got 5 battles. Nice. But it's fine. It's all fine. Because we do better in TB. I got my Balin. Right, he's a mercenary. I had to spend a pretty penny in crystals to finish up Marok for him, which was annoying, just very, very annoying. And now I'm much lower on crystals than I normally would like to be. Yeah, Fire Marshal, like, he messaged me, and then one of our former members who went there messaged me, and I was like, guys, you got the win. Like, we're good. Dude, I actually, I agree with you. I get it with insomnia. I actually don't sleep well either. I've been up since 3. It is now 7:30, 7:40, whatever. I've been up since 3 in the morning. I woke up, I was here, and just, I don't know, my body said, screw you, you're up now. So I got my dailies out of the way, I got all that stuff out of the way. Yeah, Sith, exactly. He messaged me. He's a nice guy. And I'm not making fun of him at all. I found it funny that, because they know that we don't like TW. Um, let's just do this. Want to give people some time. But on that note, we'll get into some announcements while this is running. Let me just make sure that's running. Okay. Number one, we did a GAC stream on Friday night. I was working on the Gungies. My brain was fried. I said, you know what? I want to pop in, just have some fun with like 4 or 5 people, whoever pops in, because all of the entertaining people are also playing GAC right now. Avant joined me, got on stream, helped me out with my GAC. We got raided 3 fucking times. Beaver, Horizon, Urs stopped in. It was a lot of fun. But I decided I think I'm going to stop the turtle defense for now. I think that I'm going to start playing GAC, not like super hardcore. I don't think I'm going to change my resource acquisition. I don't think I'm going to change my Datacron plan. But I do think that I am going to change this defense I have going on. And I've had a few people reach out to me and try to help me with the D. That you could clip that, and that's a naughty little thing. I don't know how many. It's been over 2 years since I've set a proper GAC defense, so I need all the help I can get in that regard. But I think I'm going to play it a little bit tighter now, and try a little bit, and see what happens. Yeah, my wife lost TikTok yesterday too. We actually stopped watching TV so she could scroll through TikTok for another hour before it went away. There's, some political grandstanding that I'm not willing to get into on here because politics are politics. We are the D. But it is what it is with TikTok. I'm sure we'll get something. Why wasn't I not playing competitively before? I've never enjoyed GAC. I feel like it's always the same walls. Like, you're always playing the same thing, the same matches. And I used to play it more competitively. But when the game introduced, like, Conquest, and then ROTE, and all of these really time-consuming processes, something had to give. So that was what was. And I'm going to try now and see a little bit more. Who picked up? You guys picked up a full Planet of Platoons. I think we did too, actually, Bodhi, for this round. Vandor. I think we might be 6 of 6 on Vandor for this upcoming TB, which will make it very likely that we can hit 42. Depending on if everybody does their stuff and everybody gets it. So that's exciting. I am very positive on that. And I think it's at 41 you get the second R9 material. Yeah, Bodhi, we're the same way when it comes to R9s. We have my platoon guy, Quentin. We're super good about doing, about volunteering. We'll say, hey, here's the list, and it's gone like this. Now, I think your guild, Old Dirty Blasters, has a higher degree of spenders, or higher spenders than my guild does, so sometimes it takes like a week. But they are very good about volunteering and saying, we'll get it done as soon as possible. So that's been great to have in our guild. And I am looking forward to running TB tomorrow and hoping that all works out. As far as raid changes, so, there's been some back and forth on the raid changes. Obviously, they haven't happened yet, but I think they are going to be an overall positive raid change. I know that the cooldown is being reduced by 1, but 2 really super important things are happening. 1, the ability is starting on cooldown, which will allow your squads, like your Luminara squad, to kind of get in there a little bit, each round a little bit faster. And two, the boss droid, whatever the hell its name is, it can no longer get bonus turns. So that's going to help it not cycle through turns as much. And I think that that's going to be super, super, super helpful. I do think that if you struggle in the raid already, it might hurt more because as the battle goes on, it might be more of a pain in the ass. But I do think it's going to make a lot of runs much more consistent, especially the Luminara run if you don't run it with Cam. And I don't run it with Cam. I run Cam in my off squad. So I think it's going to make things a little bit easier. The Gungans obviously are a great squad that you can auto with, but the Gungan auto, I'd say if you full auto with Gungans, it's like 75% reliable. If you partial auto with Gungans, it's 100% reliable. I think it's going to make the full auto a little bit more reliable. So that is something that I'm looking forward to. One thing, Nena, when you talk about the DDK lock, I had said on Reddit, that I think that if the only allies are Droid Dekaz and the boss, that the shield should have an increased cooldown of 1. But, because I hate that lock. That lock is such a pain in the ass, especially for runs like the 3-man Sith, where that can just shut you down. I know some people are saying the raid might be around a little bit longer because of this change, but my counter to that is we've seen some bug fixes happen towards the end of cycles before, like the negotiator bug that made Jedi Knight Anakin invincible that they fixed like 8 times but never happened. And then magically the day that Executor came out, they were like, oh, we fixed it for real this time. We are not max creating the raid. Nobody in my guild likes the raid. We are doing the 265 box. I think that if everybody put in max effort, we could hit the 416 box without any additional resources. But nobody, it's a struggle to get people to do it. Like if I look at this, this guy actually just joined, so he has a 0 on purpose. But like this guy's got a 0. This guy's got 300,000. All of these people did such minimal effort in the raid because they just fucking hate it. And I don't have the bandwidth to constantly tell them, hey, get this done, get this done. And unfortunately, in a post ROTE world, it's super, super, super hard to boot people. Because, like for example, if you booted me from my guild, that's a Mon Mothma that needs to be replaced for platoons. That's a Hoth Rebel soldier that needs to be replaced. That's a Wicket that needs to be replaced. That's a Hermit Yoda, a Zalbar. Just removing one person from a guild can have super high detrimental effects on platooning for people, and it just sucks to do. I'm hoping that the new raid change makes it a little bit less stressful to get those raid runs in, because then maybe I won't have to worry so much about it. And I'm hoping whatever comes next is a little bit less frustrating, because I would like higher raid rewards. Who got the R9 Ethkoth? I could tell you who got the R9 Ethkoth in my guild. Let's see. Mandalorians. Awakened Mandalorians. Units. Ethkoth. We have 3 guys with the Ethkoth. This dude, Justin, Savage, Overpower, and Targel. All 3 of them have their Ethkoths. But it sucks. I wish back in the... I love ROTE because it's more op forward, less battle forward. But I did like before operations had relic requirements, we were very proactive about booting people, removing people and getting new people in, removing people and getting new people in. It's really hard to do that now, which, it sucks, but it is what it is. What time? How much time do we have? We have 10 minutes until I can do my shipments. So let's chat for 10 more minutes, and then I'll do these reviews. So, a couple of things coming up. Red Crave, we hit around. Number one, the Gungies are on Friday. This Friday, 7:30 Eastern. I get home from work around 7. I'm going to rush to get on my suit and get everything ready. I've been compiling it for the last couple of days. I am super excited about it. I recommend people watch it on YouTube, not Twitch, personally, because Twitch, I'm a stupid technophobe that doesn't understand how things work, and I'm sure I can control how ads work, but I don't know how. So ads will be all over the place. YouTube, I can control easily when mid-roll ads run, so we will not be running any mid-roll ads. So if you are staying tuned for the Gungies on Friday, I highly, highly, highly recommend YouTube for that. Or, I guess, subscribing on Twitch and sending me $1.50 or whatever it is. But I would recommend YouTube if you want to do it for free. That would be Saturday morning for you, Nena. Just about that. Just somewhere in there. And I don't know what the runtime will be. It'll probably be like 2 to 3 hours. If you go onto Discord, I don't know if this will show because I have my Discord truncated a little bit. But in the events area, you can see the time in your local time. Right? So you can click and it'll tell you what the time would be for you. That's all based on your time zone. That is number one. Let's put this back up. Number 2 on the agenda, because we are trying to kill some time before shipments so that I can do these reviews. We raised $1,400, which we sent to LA, to a bunch of charities around LA. We have 7 days left in this solitaire charity thing. We have currently raised $924. 7 days left. The link is on Discord. It's probably on Twitch. The goals, there's plenty of room for people if they want to play a stupid game and raise money for charity. I beat the game in 4 days, so 7 days left. If you want to help out. Originally, our $1,400 was going to Child's Play. We decided to defer that and re-raise the money for Child's Play now. So Child's Play deals with kids in Children's Hospital and their entertainment needs. So if you're bored today, that is something that you can do to send money where it needs to without actually having to send any money. Let's pop Discord off. Do I have any other announcements? No. We got 7 more minutes. Somebody give me a topic to grandstand on. I don't know if I can do a 7-minute fuck you, Bones. Oh, man. Oof. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of coffee. We got a snowstorm coming in later today. I'm hoping... Daniel, you're late, man. But for some reason, you're reminding me now I got to take my pill. The last time we had a major snowstorm, I actually almost died. I think I've told the story before, but we got 5 minutes. I went to CVS to pick up my Trelegy, my medicine, and there was an issue. And because of their lunch hour, they were like, oh, you got to come back later or wait until the lunch hour. So we came back on our way home from the movies, and literally at the light right at the CVS in the middle of a snowstorm, but like the beginning of a snowstorm, so it wasn't bad yet. My car is here, stopped at the red light, and an SUV lost control and like nearly T-boned me. Hit our car, slid off the entire side, did a 360, and only managed to scratch our entire side of the car. So I somehow survived. Let's see. Did they make Mega the leader to make sure that the people actually relic her? Man, I guess. You notice like all these new kits, they have like these relic material things in them, right? Like, where is it on her leader? No, it's on her big sister thing. Right? Marin has it. I think some of the new Night Sisters have it. Master Qui-Gon has it. Jar Jar has it. That's how they make you relic these guys. So with Kafrene, we actually, I know I can't pull up a TB map. We started it as a 1-day thing, and then we switched our strategy. It's now a 2-day thing. I really like when it's a 2-day thing because you have a little bit of leeway there. But sometimes it causes issue when you like 14 or 15 something, and somebody had like the thing that needs to be doubled up. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, we're supposed to be getting like 8 inches today. We're gonna go see Wolfman, and we should get back before the snow. But we're gonna probably have to go to the grocery store because we normally do our grocery shopping on Sundays. So we're gonna have that same like craziness at our grocery stores when I just want my food for the week because we literally have nothing. A discussion on the evolution of the British accent from American colonization to now. Fuck, where's Logan when I need him? Actually, Bodhi, you're British. If you care to chime in on the evolution of the British accent, I'll read it out loud. So here's a thing, actually. Some of you might not know this, Senility, because my guild leader, he actually messaged me last week during TB, and he said, hey, not for nothing, but the TB instructions, I shouldn't have to go to Discord to get the TB instructions. It should be on the planets. This is the first time it's happening. What's up? And what I don't think he realized, and some of you might not know this, but there is a bug in the game. And I think what the bug does is it reads the game as if you're a minor account. But what the bug does is it gets rid of the chat. Right? And the chat gets lost. And if the chat gets lost, I can't click on anybody in here. You can do it in the... No, oh, you have to do it from here. So if the chat gets lost, a couple things happen. Number one, you can't message. This whole message button disappears. It's not even there. And number two, TB, whatever, like that little marquee, does not appear for you. So the all of your instructions are just gone, and you have to reset. But if you don't notice it's happening, you just see a regular TV screen with no marquees, like marquee notice or anything. It also resets officer permissions, so you can't use your officer permissions. That's how I generally notice, is I go, wait a second, I can't change anything. Because nobody looks at this, right? It's like this tiny little thing because nobody talks ever. So that could sometimes be happening in your guild, where somebody does not see like a notice that says, hey, stop at this or stop at that. But obviously, if they're a long-term member, they should have some idea of what's going on. Yes, the banner instructions, they're gone if you have that bug. And you have to just reload the game. But again, if you don't notice, you have no idea it's happening. It's very, very annoying. And I had to tell my guild leader that. And he's like, oh. And then yesterday he messaged me again. And he's like, have they gotten rid of the ability to message your GAC opponent? And I was like, no, again, it's the same bug. I don't want to shit on my guild leader because he sometimes pops into these streams. Fuck you, Tish. Fucking asshole of a guild leader sent me a Cal Kestis Funko Pop, but then one of my lovely guild members sent me a Marin one, which was very nice of him. He bought it for $3, and then he was like, hey, if you beat me in fantasy this week, I'll send it to you. And then, of course, I lost in fantasy to him that week because 3 of my guys decided to do jack shit. And he was like, you know what, I actually just bought it for you anyway, so it's awkward that you lost, but I'm going to send it to you. So that was nice. Alright, let's see. We should be able to do my shipments, and then we can get into some reviews for today. Get what needs to be gotten. I've been buying Arrow Mag. I miss the days of Crancor. I've been buying these things like so much. This is literally all I buy with MK3 now. So what I do for TB is I do both. I put it, I'll show it to you. I'm going to show it to you in a minute because I think the way that I do the system, and I did a whole video on this, and it was actually a relatively popular video on how to be a TB officer. Bodhi, I appreciate you popping in. Thanks for joining my little corner over here. Guys, look, Nomad is here. I didn't kill him. He wasn't murdered. He did not die. I know, my heat sinks, oh yeah, well, I mean, with my MK1, I literally just buy random shit at this point, because I have so much shit that I go, oh, what am I low on? Let me just buy it. My MK2, I've been hoarding a little bit, just because I have some stuff I'm very low on now. Hey Cap, everybody's joining me today for brunch. Fucking love it. It was a possible. Well, Nomad, somebody asked me this morning. They were like, "Oh, whatever. I guess you didn't get murdered. How was brunch?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I didn't murder Nomad either, but he, I guess, has to say that himself. Let's see. Who needs ads? Just subscribe. Been running out of med packs lately. This stuff should all be good. Yeah. Alright. We don't really need the game anymore, so we're going to pull that down for now. And I'm just going to pop into this real quick. You're safe. That's what we, you know, it'd be really funny if we both showed up with like a knife. It was a very good time. And I've said this to people on streams before. If you're in the area, or if you're decently close, if we can find a time, I'd love to pop in and go to a brewery with you. Now, for Nomad and I, it took us like 3 months to find a time that worked. We planned it like 6 weeks in advance. But it was a lot of fun. I love chatting with people and meeting up with people. Okay. Good. All right. We are going to pop off of here. We don't need the game. We're going to go to Discord real quick because somebody asked about this. So when it comes to TB, I do a couple of things. We're going to go to my guild Discord. I have a whole channel in my TB strategy chat, a whole thread. Oh, nope, that is platoons. New orders archive. I keep an archive of orders so that my other TB officer and I, we can just copy and paste these. These get sent out every start of phase, so people know the order of priority for everything and what needs to get done, right? Day 1 agenda, we do a battle importance. You know, like day 1, you don't really have to do your battles at all. We don't give a shit, doesn't matter, just deploy. Day 2, super highly need the battles. I also link to our Discord right to the planet, right? So that you can see, like, hey, if you need guides, they're right there. These, I think one of these is a Cosgul guide. One of these is a Bit Dynasty guide for that stupid fucking Starfighter mission that nobody can ever do. And then overnight, because we don't have a lot of officers who are international, we have Moonborn, who's in Germany, but he's not a TB officer. He has to kind of figure out based on what we do. We also do overnight instructions, which is basically like, yes, these are going to be locked, but if you follow these Discord instructions, it's okay to get that rogue action, right? DS to 475. Once it's at 475, you still do battles, but you don't deploy there anymore. Then you go to LS 700, right? And you just kind of follow all of these things overnight so that in the morning we can reassess. And that allows us to kind of let people do their shit without having to spam tag me at 3 in the morning when I'm not going to hear it. And it allows guys like Moonborn, who are international and do have the ability to switch. If they happen to be on, they can switch things. So I do put Discord things in. And then in the game, which you can't see right now, I do a first, next, last system. So I try to make it as stupid proof as possible for people to finish that and do that and get their shit done. And for the most part, it works really, really, really well for people to kind of know. But then we also have people who will look at it and go, oh, DS is done at 475. What do I do next? And I go, man, you've been in the guild for 4 years. You should know by now that it's right there. You're also very Discord active, so it's not like you're not on Discord constantly. All right, let's go back here. We're going to go to our roster reviews. Where are they? Roster reviews. We have our lists. Requests. There we go. I try to stupid proof things as much as possible. Like, because, as an officer, right? Like, it's just, you get a lot of dumb people, unfortunately, and you have to, like, hold their hands through it. So this is going to be a very roster review heavy stream since there's really nothing going on in game. I am going to promote myself briefly, which I'm really terrible at doing well because I don't like to do it, but I will say that over the last week, I've talked to a few people. We've decided we have put up like memberships through Buy Me a Beer. I try to keep it as nice as possible with some, this expensive one is really for my time and video chats. But I would love, even if you don't do them, look at them. And I really would love feedback because I want to continue to add more stuff and more value to that to help people out with my time and everything. But, just take a look and send me a PM and say, hey, this is what I think and this is what you should do and here's what I would love to see. Because that helps me do more stuff while also keeping the majority of what I do, like these reviews, free for people. And also keeping me drunk because I like to be drunk. What fleet do I use on Lothal? I've been using Radis lately, so same thing. So I can do Profundity. The battle is super fast. It's super easy, even with Radis. The Lothal Fleet CM is one of the easier ones. I don't know if it's autoable with with Radis. I haven't tried that yet, but it's a no-brainer battle. And I do it for the same reason, so that I can platoon Profundity, because I know that I'm one of the people more likely to be able to beat the battle than, unfortunately, some other people. All right, let's get going. Wow, we've stalled a lot today. 40, let's just say 41 for Kai. Well, we have the TB library over here, where I've, and others, a lot of people have contributed to it, where you can see, different ways of beating missions. I would love to know how you're beating the Confrene fleet reliably, because I feel like I have like maybe a 75% win rate on it. All right, we gotta do these reviews. Let's see, roster reviews. We got Kai. Link to your GG. What's the top 20 of your fleet arena? Full Leviathan or Executor triple attacker? Are you coordinating? We have a Discord. We don't use it. Don't have a problem to get top one. So you have a Discord. You are coordinating. People don't chat in their fleet Discord. It's just so you can see when people's payouts are. Assault battles. CT1 on Rebel Roundup. 2 CT3s SLKR, not simmable, right? CT3. All right, so we're kind of in the mid game ish. I'd say 5 to 7 million, maybe like 5 to 7 million. Duel of the Fates R7. Haven't even built Peridia Patrol. Finishing JMK Ultimate. That was on 1.7. It is now. It is now the 19th, so about little under 2 weeks ago. He's probably finished that at this point. Planning to see because of Lightspeed bundles. Are you dead set? Open new ideas. I'm not sure what route to go. Finish C, going for DOF R9 characters. Peridia, I don't know. IDK, how highly do you value efficiency? I'm a try-hard player, so I like to be efficient. What's funny about that is Maw actually reached out to me about our TB library, because I heard that Maw had some trouble with that stuff. So I talked to a few people in Maw about our own resources. Are there any favorite characters you want to prioritize, even though it's probably not smart? Nope. All right, let's see. We got Kai. What did I say? 5 point. Oh, wow, interesting. What I find interesting about this roster, before even looking at it, is its assault battles read like a much lower account, which is tough, right? And it's probably a long, maybe it's not a longer term player just because of Lightspeed bundles, but let's see, battles 1, where are my fleet arena battles 1, 4,000, maybe not. It's got to be at least like a 3 or 4 year old account at the very, very least. And I feel like they're doing themselves such a disservice. In terms of being able to get free materials constantly. So we're going to kind of take a look. Like Jabba, I don't know when he got Jabba. I've got no idea. It's only been 2 weeks, and he was finishing the JMK Ultimate, which is done, and then going after C, which isn't finished. I don't know when Jabba is done, but Rebel Roundup should be CT3. You should be able to do that with your Hut Cartel. You're not... I don't think you can use Skiff there because he's not a bounty hunter. But, Jabba, Kursatan, Bosch is a bounty hunter, right? Is she not? Yeah, she is. She's a bounty hunter. And maybe throwing in even Boba Fett. But, you should be able to... You should be able to do CT3 of Rebel Roundup without issue. And, it looks like you've invested in the mods. Her speed's not super great. Her speed's not super great, but like, this is a mind-blowing one. I would probably try Jabba, Kursitan, Bosch, maybe like Boba Fett, and even Cad Bane. And Smuggler's Run should not be an issue. Forest Moon. Let's see. We do not have Reva. But like, you have the Imperial Troopers. Veer, Stark, Piet, Range Trooper, and honestly, Dark Trooper. If you, like, Forest Moon should be a super easy CT3 for you. Yes, remod them as fast as you can, but like, that should be a no-brainer easy one. No, don't join the recruitment server. Join Slice of Oda Gunga. We have our own recruitment resources that have been very helpful to people. And we're better. Places of Power. I'm curious what Sith you have outside of not having C yet. You know, even Places of Power you probably can do without needing the SLKR run. If you were to do like Papa Palp, Treya, Darth Nihilus is gonna be your GOAT for this. I would probably at that point, do you have you do, because you have Leviathan, right? So where's Malik? Blah, 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 blah. There's Malik. I'd throw in Malik. I don't know who I'd do definitely as the 5th. I think I'd throw in Malgus. How are you not on my server? But you have the resources for CT3, and somebody's saying in chat mod issue, and I do. I think you just have to take the time to remod for the event itself, because these are resources that you're just leaving on the table. These are not, like, you don't have to put in major, like, you have Jedi Master Luke, and you're doing Ground War at CT2, which is fucking insane. You know, Jedi Knight Luke, literally as slow as possible. Take all the speed off of him. Throw in Jedi Master Luke as your 2nd. I would do, like, Jedi Knight Revan. I would do... I like to do Grandmaster Yoda because of the double turns. And then maybe something like Hermit Yoda. And the enemy team should not be taking turns. You finish every round with the speed, with the granted ability, so that Jedi Knight Luke starts every round. These are all CT3s being left on the table. It hurts me in my soul to know how much you've missed out on with things that you should be able to do already. CT2 of Secrets and Shadows, I mean, you probably can do CT3 of this with Talzin, Old Daka, Merrin, Asajj, and Zombie. I would maybe bring Old Daka to 5 and amp her the hell up with health, like all 6E mods with health and stuff. But it is also annoying to do, so that's one that I don't give people a problem when they don't do it. Because I get it, it is time consuming, but all of the other ones have been easy ones. Fanatical Devotion. Okay, I get not having this. You're doing CT1 though, so you must have Tuskens. I don't know much about the oh my god. I don't know much about... I'm assuming you just don't use them, but you use them for Fanatical Devotion the one time. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. When I clicked on the link, it works for me. But I will put a space just to see. Did I get out of that? Oh, I went back to mine. You probably remodded just for this event specifically. I don't know much about the Tuskens doing Fanatical Devotion, but I've heard they can do CT2 and CT3. Let's go back to that message. Roster reviews. Where are they? There they are. And you're doing the R7 for Duel of the Fates. Let's just see if that has changed. That has not changed. Okay. And where are we on Peridia Patrol? Okay. I think personally at our level of gameplay, so when we're talking about like a 10 plus million account, I do think that players should at a bare minimum be doing the R7 tier of Peridia Patrol and Duel of the Fates. I am a strong advocate of Duel of the Fates at R9, a super strong advocate of it. At first I was a little iffy on it because we weren't sure if the event would be permanent, but now some of the more recent things that Meathead has said do lead me to believe that it will be a permanent event and that we don't have to worry about that, especially with that uprising about assault battles that happened, in 3 months ago. I do think that it's just super... When you're at our level, R9 CG has kind of said, hey, like these are going to be more important. So we're giving you more access to them. And I just think that players at this level need to jump on as early as possible. With Peridia, I get it because the return is much slower. But I will tell you that as a 12.7 million account, I did it, no questions asked, because I wanted to start getting my return as quickly as I possibly could. So the first thing that I would suggest is all of those CT3s that I've outlined that you should be able to do that you're not doing, I'd really focus on those event days, getting those done. Just as a point of fact first. And that's easy. That's just remodding for an event. That's not even farming anything. Let's see what we got. We got Kylo, we got Rey, we got these guys. We are very close on C because of the Lightspeed bundle. I love this feature now. This is like the best feature in the world. So it's just relic materials. It's probably just, Thrawn and Jedi Knight Anakin. We finished that. Lord Vader. Jabba, Executor, Profundity. We're not too bad shape. Okay, so we have the ability on Cal. Okay, let's take a look. Curious about your other ships. Seem to be in good shape. I'm hoping that you're farming this. It seems like you're farming that. Carrots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's check out the bottom tier of this roster. Jedi Knight. Did we do Seer? Yes, we did. Okay. And what is our guild? 493 TB units. All right, and what about bow? Bow for show. We're not quite there on bow. Honestly, I think here, I know people don't like to farm Inquisitors. Will there be an Inquisitor Lightspeed bundle? Maybe. I do not like to make recommendations based on maybes. I do not like to make recommendations based on a gamble chance. So take that into consideration. Whether or not you decide to follow this advice and gamble. But I really think that at this point you need to do your Inquisitors. Your guild has a decent amount of Grand Inquisitors, and with there being a decent amount of Grand Inquisitors, that means that you are going to be unlocking Riva at some point. And she fundamentally transforms that team into something that is just beautiful. And it also makes Conquest just so much easier having her, especially when there are things like Amplify Agony around. This is the universe telling you now, like, hey, this is the time to go for those Inquisitors. I would probably, depending on what you have saved up, I would probably definitely do C first just because you're so close. But the reality is C is all Cantina right now because you're doing the relics. So you can be farming the Inquisitors while you're doing C and finishing C. I don't know. I don't think I would speed them up. I think I would just do 5 battles a day on each. And I know that Fifth Brother is a Cantina farm, and I still would say just do 5 battles a day while also getting signal data and doing what you need to do. Because that's going to take you... Actually, you have the stars, so it's all gearing. That's me being dumb and just looking at low gear Inquisitors and my brain filling in the space and thinking that there are 3 stars. But it's all gearing, so it's all going to be like Chirotech and hard node farms. I would be working on that gearing while you are working on getting C done. Just save enough gear for C so that you can get him up to relics as soon as possible. This should be your next project. Because Third Sister's coming. And yes, that cheese is just, it makes Conquest so easy. It makes TB so easy. It is one of the more versatile teams for GAC and for TW once you have Third Sister. I know some people... I'm one of those people that just farms everything. I don't give a shit if I like a character or not. But this should really be your next farm. And while you are doing this, honestly, I think... I know that people have been underwhelmed by Ahsoka, but I do think that we're going to still see some importance from her. And I think that there is something to be said about getting her. I just want to confirm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. So C, yeah. And the only other one is missing is Lord Vader. So I think what I would do is finish C. And then I would do Inquisitors. I would be slow farming Ahsoka. And that's going to take a little while because you got a lot of things to get shards for. And while you're slow farming Ahsoka, I would be putting more precedence and more importance towards Bo-Katan Mandalore. Because I have a feeling that your guild is going to want to do Mandalore probably in the next 6 months. And she, again, is one of the more versatile teams throughout the game. For, GAC and for TW. But also, once you're doing Mandalore and Zepho, the Chirotech crunch, it doesn't disappear, but it becomes so much less stressful. So I think that that's how I would run this right now, right? Finish up your C because it makes sense and you're already there. Put your focus towards Inquisitors. While you're focused on Inquisitors, I would be doing my slow farm towards my Ahsoka stuff. And as you finish up Inquisitors, I'd be putting more precedence towards Bo-Katan Mandalore. And honestly, if you can, I would try to get your Peridia Patrol to R7 on the earlier end so that you're building those free resources. But I'm going to bookend this by saying, do not leave all of that stuff on the table when it comes to your assault battles. Because that is, it's such a big thing. Nomad, when we're saying, waiting for Lightspeed bundles, yeah, you can definitely use a gear website if you want to track and hold. Again, my advice is always, it's never to take a gamble on a pack that we don't know if it's going to release. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that there is a possibility of that coming to the table in the next year. I just don't want to put too much importance towards something that we don't actually know. So I have spoken. Let's move on. Let's see. We're going back to Discord. DarthLundgren. Oh, I get it. Like Dolph. Phrasing. Title of my sex tape. Every good sitcom has a sex joke like that. That's what she said. Where's C squared for the Office references? Let's see. All right. Link to your .gg, blah, blah, blah. Top 20 of your fleet, 11 Leviathans, 9 Executors. Are you coordinating? I miss Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I do too. And they said that they won't do a reboot. Everybody wants to, but they can't do it without Holt. They're like, since he passed away, none of us can even imagine doing it. So sad. It sucks, but I get it. Know the top 20 of your fleets. Are you coordinating? Yes. Salt battles, CT1 to CT3. Most of them are in order. Secrets and Shadows makes sense. Forest Moon, Duel of the Fates are 7. Peridia, Leviathan, BKM. How highly? Efficiency 100%. I'd say this is like an 8 to 9 million account. Let's take a look. There we go. Right on the cusp of 9 million. Sabers of Bias. All right. I mean, you're hitting this, so that's nice. This is from 1/8, so about a week and a half ago. Let's see. Did we get Leviathan? We do not have Leviathan yet. We have Leia, Kylo, Luke, Jabba, Sith Eternal, Kenobi, so 6. Let's take a look at our tools. Still a little bit of ways away from this. Okay, it's not that bad though. Do not have Bo-Katan. We're working on those shards to some extent, or just we got them for free. Nobody cares about Afra. I love that you got Jar Jar. I don't think he's super important to most people, but I do love that you got him. So we're missing Lord Vader, and I thought there was one more. Am I stupid? Did I count wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're missing Lord Vader. We have Jabba. We're missing Lord Vader. We're missing Ahsoka. Rey. I thought I clicked on Rey. Maybe you just finished Rey and don't have her up yet? No, I guess I just didn't click on Rey. Some people can care about Afra. She's a favorite character of yours, and I like Afra. I do use Afra often, but I do think that she's a huge luxury character. And she should be like the last thing that people get when there's other major farms to be done. Check out the bottom. Really have not cared about our resistance at all. Okay, what we're missing Forest Moon. Veers, Stark. Where is Stark? Stark, Piet. So again, this is another case of if you bring Range Trooper even to like G11, G10, G11, I took mine to G12 because it doesn't really matter. It's not a Kyrotech character. You can be doing CT3 of Forest Moon without too much issue at all. You know, Veer, Stark, Piet, Dark Trooper, Range Trooper, you just mod them for a ton of speed. Once you get the first Ewok kill in, the Ewoks will not take another turn. I did this with so few relics. You know, like Veers and Stark at 3, Piet was at 8 for for fucking hell, Executor. My range was G 12, and I used Snow instead of Dark Trooper. They will not take a turn. Oh, I knew that the Dr. Aphra bundle would be $50. She's Star Killer. I knew when one came out that it would be a $50 bundle. That was, to me, a no-brainer. Well, Jack Daniels, I'm talking about major farms. I'm not talking about little farms. I'm talking about, like, the major game farms. She, to me, is the least important of the major game farms. So that's your Rebel Roundup. Secrets and Shadows. I think your Night Sisters were not super great. Yeah. So if you're doing it at 1, you're doing it with Phoenix, right? Which is fine. I don't think that this is a priority one to worry about. Fanatical Devotion, you're doing at 3, which is great. That's awesome. Duel of the Fates, R7. Again, you're at a little bit of an earlier point of the game. I can make so many cases for R9ing your Duel of the Fates, but I think that R7 is okay with where you are. You're currently working on Peridia, Leviathan, BKM. All right, let's see. Let's double check those farms. I want to check Cal too, so you do have Cal. We're working on these guys. We're getting close. Bo-Katan's a great farm. And our Peridia. We're getting there. Okay. So again, as you get later in the game, I do see a little bit of importance to going and getting some Peridia stuff. I tell a lot of people just to get them the 5 stars and let the events do it themselves, because I don't think it's necessarily important for everybody. But I think as you get later on the game, a lot of that stuff can become important. I do think that Bo-Katan is maybe a little bit more important for you, especially to ease the Chirotech crunch of, you know, all of these little things that you're still building up. So I think I would put a lot of priority. I would put a lot of priority towards Leviathan, so that you can get it fast, so that you don't have, you know, maybe you have to 7-star it as fast as possible, but because you're getting first place right now, you really don't have to. And every month that you can get free shards of that is a month that you're saving 1,000 crystals, and there's something to be said for that. I would put Bo-Katan definitely as your second priority after Leviathan. And then how bad are we on Rey? I mean, yeah, we do not like our resistance, which is alright. It's fine. I mean, not the biggest deal in the world. Wouldn't really worry about Balin, because by the time he comes back again, you know, if he is important for something, you have put 0 effort towards it. You've kind of signaled that you don't really care about it, so it's not a super important thing. I want to just look at some smaller stuff. I don't use him in Rote or Conquest. I do use him a lot in GAC, and as someone who is not a big GAC player, he's a versatile team, a very versatile team. So he's very helpful for me as someone who doesn't want to put a lot of time or effort into GAC. Not your collection. Where is what's Omicron? My relic units. Okay. Good. Yeah, man. I mean, I think I would just go down the route that I'm going. Like, you have most of the major farms that you need to have. I would that forest moon trick that I told you about. Like, that's like going to be the super most important thing for you. Leviathan should be your major goal right now while you're slow farming that Peridia stuff and while you're slow farming that BKM stuff. I would, if you're going to do Peridia, I would commit to at least R7 for those tiers. Um, I would say that if your guild is currently doing Mandalore, BKM is lower priority than that. But if your guild is not currently doing Mandalore and needs people to do Mandalore, then I would do BKM before focusing on Peridia. But Leviathan, I want you to get as fast as possible so you can make it cheap and free for yourself. Um, at that point, I mean, you have a lot of the ROI that this game is asking you to get. And we know that this new Bad Batch thing isn't culminating in anything, right? So the community as a whole is almost in a holding pattern of saying, okay, what's the next thing? Like, what's coming next? So I do think I would just go on the route that I'm going, but I would reorder it as Leviathan, Peridia BKM, or Leviathan BKM Peridia, depending on how your guild is currently doing with Mandalore. I did not forget, man. Daniel popped in, and for some reason, Daniel popping in reminded me. So I've got my pills right over here. I took mine this morning, very very happily. So we are good in that regard. But I appreciate it, M3. Keeping me honest. I'm not very good at taking medication because I'm not used to taking medications. Let's just check this real quick. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's not too much for me to say other than that. Like there's nothing major. I don't. Ray is great. I just don't think that like with how far away you are from Ray. I just say go for Lord Vader instead. Lord Failure. I do, again, though, think that something could be said for Ahsoka. I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more from her. Nomad and I, we got beers. He watched. I got to watch him play the team. I've never seen the team in action. It's so slow and boring to watch. Those animations are just mind numbing. But I mean, it's an effective team when used correctly. And I think that CG is putting a lot of priority towards telling us to go for the newer things. Vader is my second favorite Conquest unit. I love him in Conquest. I do. I love him so much. And he is good in GAC. You just have to use him correctly. So, I would say Vader over Rey. But honestly, because Ahsoka is newer, I just think CG is constantly putting us in a position to say go for the new stuff, that it makes more sense. Especially if you're already doing the Peridia stuff to R7. So that would be my advice here. Let's pop back over to Discord. I am going to take a super, super, super fast break just to fill up my coffee cup with some water at this point, and I will be right back. All right. Thank you for waiting. What's my opinion on giving LV the strong stuff to make him do well while turtling, such as Maul and Piet? In fives, I give him Maul and Piet. LV just wants high relic levels because he needs to ramp fast, and the higher your relic levels, the faster he's going to ramp. But I don't know if you missed this, Nena, but I am thinking. No, you didn't because you were here early. I am thinking of ending the turtling and going straight, hitting the straight and narrow. So, what I will do with him going forward, we'll see what happens. What is this? All right, let's see. The next one is President Lebron, who has been making the rounds on Discord lately. 116. Oh, I should probably check in with TW, huh? Maybe I'll check in with it after this. My GG, the top 20 of my fleet. Yeah, man, I've been giving no credence to GAC. So I've been like, hey, I'm going to start doing it a little bit more. And I had a ton of fun on Friday night doing the GAC stream, getting a little bit drunk. We were doing shots for hype trains. I was drinking right out of the bottle. It was an interesting night. I went to bed I woke up very hungover, but I had so much fun. Top 20 of my fleet is a lot of 7-star executors, a few profundities for assault battles. I don't really remember what I got on each, so we're going to say 2-0-0-0-0-0. Not taking top 20. This might not all be right, just because I don't pay too much attention to that. For the things I'm working on, I'm getting Gungies to relic for Jar Jar, which I regret because I didn't know what I was doing back then. With their Datacron, they seemed better than they were, and I had just returned to the game, so I wasn't really sure of my plan. Other than that, I'm kind of working on Imperial Troopers. They're already good enough, but I want Veers to relic 3 for 3v3 to make use of the Datacron. And I'll eventually get Piet to relic 8 for Executor. After Gungies, I plan to work on Executor just because I have a really bad fleet. My mod RNG has been really bad. I'm 1.5 million GP. I know it's a lot lower than other people you've done roster reviews for, but I hope you do it just for me. And I'm saving Zetas and Omicrons for Jar Jar when the next event happens. Forgot about this, but I'm farming Great Mothers, Morgan, Shin, and Maroke in the background if I have free energy, because I want to work on Great Mothers and eventually Balin after Executor because I think it'll be fun and unique grind. This is an edit, but I forgot to mention that I put on an accidental Omicron thinking it was for something else. You know what it is when you see it. Oh boy. Or I can't wait. So we said 1.5 million, right? Let's take a look. Let's see. I have a feeling this is going to be a mess. Lebron, come on. Let's see. Collection. Omicrons. Is this the Tarpals Omicron? Is that the one you accidentally put on? Because the Wampa one's great. I have the Tarpals Omicron. It is great, but obviously I would not put it on as an early game Omicron at all. I do a lot of TV Omicrons to save me time, effort, and energy. Oh, man. Hey, Rips. How's it going? Welcome to brunch. It's still not brunch time. I never really eat brunch. Next time maybe I'll make like eggs and I'll sit here and eat them so that you guys feel like you're actually getting like a brunch experience, like eggs and a turkey sandwich or something weird, something breakfasty, something lunchy. All right, let's see. Now, I'm gonna say that early game is not typically my specialty. And I've said before, Darth Locator is like that's what he really does and focuses on. So I always try to tell people, hey, go in that direction if you want something more targeted. But what I do think is, just from your message, you're all over the place. And what we need to do right now, I have so many German fans. Moonborn started, and then my Germans took over my guild, and now they're all here. So many of them. I think we need to get more targeted here because we're all over the place and we're not thinking about the background of our account, right? We're not thinking about the ways to let the account do things for us. Go ahead and say it for those in the back, our ROI, our return on investment. And that's kind of what some of your first things you should be doing are. We are working for Executor, so let's take a look. We're fairly far away. All right, we do need to get the Dengar shards. How are you doing in the raid? At least you're putting up numbers. Oh, your guild is actually doing speeder bikes, so Gungies aren't even really doing anything for you right now. Okay. So, all right, here's the deal. There is this thing in the community, and I see it a lot on Reddit, which is, you know, start a farm, finish a farm. And I think that is, it's an exercise in futility, and it has a lot to do with sunk cost fallacy. And I don't think it's great advice for people, especially if a farm is going to take you considerable time and there are other farms that'll help you so much more in the short run. Now, obviously, we have to talk about, do we want an efficient account or do we want a fun account? And I can only talk about it from an efficiency standpoint because I don't know what is fun for you, right? Like, that is something that people have to decide on their own. If I were taking over this account tomorrow, I hate saying this because I love the Gungies and, you know, they are all over my stuff and they're plastered everywhere. We have the fucking Gungies coming up. I would just stop it right now. I would cut my losses, accept that I have a semi-okay, decent team, and start working on Executor. Executor is going to be so much more of a super strong thing for your account to help you catapult and move on faster. I would be pushing towards that as much as I could. And that kind of goes into your, like, Veers thing. I think you said Veers. I don't know if it was Veers or Stark. Where is it in your message? They're already good enough. Veers to Relic 3, right? Yeah, okay. Veers and Stark to, like, Relic 3 or whatever for GAC is not an Executor requirement, but it is a C requirement, and it will help you a little bit anyway. So it's not a bad thing to do. But I would be really pushing to get my Executor stuff done now. And I would even try, I don't know how good your ships are to do this, I would start slow farming just 5 battles a day on Punishing One, so that when you have Executor, you'll have a really solid new age Executor fleet, which will help you as your fleet arena grows. After you get Executor, you know, you should be able to do, you say Redevo Roundup is at 2, which is good. That's good for you right now. You should be able to get Forest Moon to also, to like CT2 and CT3. Let's see, where are those? Oh, because I'm on ships. You know, if you have Veers, Stark, Piet, fucking Dark Trooper, man, and Range Trooper, you should be able to blow through places of, not Place of Power. I think I said Place of Power before, but I meant Forest Moon. You should be able to blow through Forest Moon and Rebel Roundup to CT3. Obviously, modding is going to be an issue because you have a newer account, but that should help you build up that back-end ROI. After you have Executor, that's where you need to start to get into, you know, which is what I say to everybody, the kind of JML and Java thing. You know, you have Wampa already. You do not have Hermit Yoda. I'd be working on Hermit Yoda. I think that you will benefit more from JML first before Java. But that's going to shore up your military might and your ground war. Basically, my goal here is to get you to start getting resources for free on the back end. You know, that's where you need to be focused right now. Focus Executor. Great Mothers is great. I love the team. Fuck them for now. You don't need them. They are really hard farms for you right now. You cannot afford to give up the signal data. Go for Executor. Go for Jedi Master Luke. Let me just check out Rolo real fast. Make sure if you don't have her, you don't have Rolo yet. Anytime that bounty event comes around, how are your bounty hunters? Should they be able to do this? Your bounty hunters might be able to do the bounty hunt event, but anytime it comes around, get Rolo shards, Rebel Officer Leia, so that after you're done, you can work on your JML, you can work on your Java. That's going to build out the background of your account. And once the background of your account is done, then you can decide, do I want to do fun or do I want to do efficiency? Right? And I'm pro-efficiency. But some people, that's not their thing. But I think, who is it? Pilkis kind of said, and I agree with you when you say, I don't think the account can be fun with zero income. You're not bringing in any stuff. So it's taking you so long to get stuff. And our first goal is to speed up your ability to get stuff. That's more important than anything else right now. So as much as it pains me to say this, fuck the Gungans, cut your losses, start going for that Executor. Oof. My throat is fucking killing me. Ba-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da. Big crystal horde. Okay. All right. That's all I can really tell you at this point, with all of that said and done. Oh, that water is just beautiful right now. All right, let's see. Let's go back. Callsign Botch, the high ground, all these new people. Lots of new people on Discord. I don't think we're going to get to all of them just because my throat hurts, but we can at least get this one and see how we feel afterwards. Because that was what? Today is the 19th, so only 5 days ago. This is the 16th, so yeah, that's fine. Call sign. Is it medicine? I got my medicine. I took it. I did it. You know, I actually just got Balin myself. Actually, before we do this review, we're gonna go laugh at our TW. I just got Balin. Literally just did. I have not really played with them so much. I would say Shin probably doesn't. And I know that people are gonna laugh at me, and I don't care. But I got Marok's Omicron. I don't even need Riva. But I got it because it will save me time and effort doing that mission. And I've seen videos of this making the Inquisitor, like throwing Inquisitors in a battle, just silly easy. And I just love saving time. So that's the only other place. But he doesn't really belong with Inquisitors outside of that Omicron. Let's see. How badly are we losing? Oh, yeah, we're... This is silly, right? I guess I should probably do something here. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Should do something. Should also figure out how this works, but I'm not going to. That's fine. No, we don't want to mark. Fuck you. Oh my god. I should probably pay attention, but I'm not really worried because we've lost this TW anyway. Oof. Ooh, we don't like that. Alright, we're going to change this over. Try to at least get Fulcrum out of here. Those fucking lifebloods, man, they're killing me. They're going to be the death of me. I don't. It is. I don't. Look, I've already lost my cat. Like, this should have worked, but I wasn't paying attention. So we can say that we did something, we tried, or something. They can keep going and say that they won. That's fine. Alright. Callsign Botch. Botch. 133. Let's see. Top 20 Executors 1, Negotiator 9, Endurance 3, Finalizer 2, Chimera 3, Executor 2. So earlier game, no Leviathans. Interesting. Not coordinating. I recommend coordinating. It makes life so much easier, personally, from my standpoint, for everybody involved, but whatever. Current farm, AB teams to at least CT2, finalizing Jedi team, Executor 2, and slowly building Negotiator fleet. Are you dead set on continuing? Not necessarily. Always open to suggestions on the most efficient way to progress given my current account status. How highly do you value efficiency? 70-30 for purpose of avoiding burnout. Are there any favorite characters? Darth Revan, Malik, Jedi Knight Revan, team already R2 and R3. Alright, let's take a look. Well, probably a 2 to 3 million account, most likely. Pop this over. 2 million on the dot. A lot of newer people coming in lately, which I like to see. Yeah, we need to get this rank 91 up. Like, that's, you need to be getting crystals from that. Reading kits. I don't want to read kits. Fuck reading kits. That's like, reading kits is like they're like Ayn Rand novels. I cannot. I can't do it. I do sometimes, but I just can't do it. Ships. Let's take a look at the ships. Working on Negotiator. I'd really be, honestly, Negotiator, great, but I'd be working towards Executor. My God, when I did the Gungans, I had to, like, sit down, and I had pages of notes, because I needed to be, like, a Gungan specialist, and it just was not fun at all. Tools, GAC, raid history. Okay. No GLs yet. We're doing Rebel Roundup. How are we doing Rebel Roundup? Bounty Hunters? Because your Bounty Hunters look... Oh, nope. We're doing it with Imperial Troopers. I don't even know who we're doing with it. But whatever. Bounty Hunters maybe are working somehow. Maybe them being this low still works. Let's check out Secrets and Shadow. It's so interesting that some of these are and some of them aren't. 1, 2. Still pretty low here. Sith. First Order. No, must be Sith. Actually, you don't really need the greatest Sith in the world to do this at CT1. I still think that this is kind of low, but maybe it's enough, I guess. Finalizing Jedi. Let's check out these Jedi. Okay, how are you? This was only a couple of days ago, but like Jedi Knight Revan lead with General Kenobi, and even I would say Jolie, Snips, and maybe Anakin. I feel like it's probably modding. It's always modding. Well, it's not for where you are in the game. This is not that bad. I've seen worse from 10 million accounts. Jolie being in there just because of the just in case revive, but you should be able to do ground war at CT1, like in all honesty. It's not that I would take priority away from Negotiator. You know, Negotiator's a great fleet. Use your get to towards getting it. But I think, you know, again, this kind of goes back to what we were saying with our friend President Lebron. Like, Executor is such an important ship, especially now with Punishing One, which, you know, you're far enough away from that stuff that you could slow farm this. I think that Executor should really be your priority farm right now, so that you can really push to turn 0 crystals into 350 to 400 crystals a day. And then you start to find out, like, wow, this is how fast I can move ahead if I have, you know, 400 crystals a day coming into my account. It'll also give you, let's just get it here. It'll also give you Admiral Piet, which will allow you to work pretty easily towards Veers Stark, Range Trooper. And then Dark Trooper is the better one, but because he has Chirotech, I tell people Snow Trooper a lot just because there's no Chirotech investment. But you should be able to get your Forest Moon to like CT2 with that, and maybe even your Rebel Roundup. And I'm just saying CT2 instead of CT3 because of mod limitations that you are going to maybe run into. But I really think you need to really push and prioritize Executor. And then, you know, if we're talking 70-30 going towards fun, going efficiency fun, I was hot. I've been waiting for you, man. I've been. He's got to get me that video then, because Gugik is the person I talk to. Why is he not sharing this shit with me? I shared my whole library with him. You know, when you're getting those fleet crystals, and all you really need is a 5-star Executor. if you want to work towards Darth Revan and Darth Malik, go for it. You know, like, have fun. It's not a bad team. And you'll make use of it, and it'll help you with a lot of different things in the game. It's maybe not the most efficient team for right now, but I would say if we're thinking 70-30, I would spearhead Executor right now. Then do your Revan Malik. Have some fun with it, right? And then you have to go towards your JML and Jabba. That's it. Everybody at your level, that's what I tell to do, because it helps a lot with the assault battle viability. And I know I'm like circling things that you can't see, but it's really just the Discord screen. You know, basically circling this right here. It helps so much with those things right there. And it's going to give you much better modding. And it's going to give you a great conquest team for when you start to push into the conquest stuff. And it's going to give you 2 really solid GLs. Well, that's why I'm saying, Ani, that like it's maybe not the smartest thing to do right now, but they are good teams. So like if you want to have a fun farm and you want to throw a fun farm in there, great. Like they're not going to hurt you to do. They're just going to slow you down a little bit, and that's fine. You know, being slowed down is fine if you're having fun. But really, you really have to push Executor. You have to. I know you want to do your AB teams. I get it. I would really push the Executor right now. Worry about that after. Or you could slow farm, you know, while you're doing that. But I think the only thing that's important for you right now is CT1. And you should be able to do CT1 of Ground War already. And Forest Moon, your Executor tunes are going to help you with. And I already kind of said which ones you should get for that. Fanatical Devotion, I wouldn't worry too much about right now. Duel of the Fates, I wouldn't worry too much about right now. I normally tell people to take their Lover Boys to 5-star at least so that the event can do the work for them. But I think you're so early game that it just does not matter right now, and that you need to focus on your Executor right now. I could make a case for after Executor while you're doing your Darth Revan, Darth Malik. Then try, I haven't even looked at them because they're not that important to you. Let's see. Oh, then try, you know, if these guys are not already 5-star at that point, to get both tiers for free, then do that. But I think it's the same normal advice I give people. You know, there's nothing crazy going on. There's nothing crazy that you have to focus on. Just go full steam ahead into Executor right now. What is that? That's 4 reviews we've done today. I think 4 is a good stopping point. Does anyone... It's still early. It's been such a short brunch. Does anyone have anything game related? Any topics of conversation they might find interesting that we could chat about for a little while before I go to the movies? Ooh. Let's check this out. Ooh, man. Oof. Ooh. Havorius hitting the 160 in our charity stream right now. Good looking out, buddy. I love it. I love when people come together to help out good causes. How to get what? Free to play? You mean like... I mean, here's the reality, and here's what sucks. I do not know a Sparciel. But the reality of what sucks with Watt is because he's a DSTB tune. You know, the best way to do it is to find a guild doing DSTB. Where are his shards? Because his shards are for something now, right? Shard Shop. Conquest. Where do watch shards show up? Because aren't they a thing now? Do they show up in this key spot? I don't know. But I just think it's expensive to buy the shards. And really it sucks. I do think that they need to put Watt on Geonosis in ROTE. I think that would be a really solid player-friendly change. Do you think... I don't know everybody in every guild, man. Oh, so maybe it is only Cam. The only way to do it, really, is to get into a guild doing DSTB, and it sucks because of the ROTE metric. I think more people need to make a stink about it. You know, you have to go onto the recruitment servers and find a lower-end guild that has a lot of people going for Watt, or find 50 people that need Watt who have Geos, form a temporary guild. You know, it does really... It blows. It really does suck. I don't know everybody in Awakened Rebels. But we are fighting Awakened Rebels in TW, and they're kicking our ass because we don't really play TW at all. They're the TW guild in Awakened. No, I am in Mandalorians, so we are losing right now because we don't really care about TW. Rebels is kicking our ass right now, which is fine. Did I finish the Sons of the Forest? I did not, because I only really play games that are not this when my wife is away. I would say I'm maybe like 30 or 40% into it. And then I started a new playthrough with Moonborn. And we really only get to play like once a month. But it's been a lot of fun to play it with another person. And I think one or two other people did buy the game to play with us when we get to play next month. I want to finish it. I really do. I just haven't had the time. You know, summer... I'm actually dreading the summer this year because I'm going to have to move this entire rig to my basement so that I can play games during the day while my wife is working. Cam free-to-play, you know, it's the same situation. It sucks, but here's the reality about Cam. I don't see Cam as an important toon. He's a strong toon. People are going to come at me in chat and be like, oh my god, he's so strong, fuck you, he can do all this stuff. And he's a strong toon. But I don't see him as an important toon, and I see buying his shards as being so wasteful of that currency. Especially when you're buying them 5 shards at a time, right? Like it's where is it? In guild events? It's so awful to spend that, like, MK3 on 5 shards. The opportunity cost is so disgusting. Watt isn't in the bounty event. Not that I know, unless they added him to it. Because we have Galactic Bounties 2 here now, but he's not in Galactic Bounties 1. He is. He's an Afro. He's a great toon. But, like, it's just too expensive to go for him. And he is someone also that they should put on a node somewhere in ROTE. And it really sucks that he's not on a node in ROTE. You ever give a movie a roster review just to fuck with your wife? My wife and I, one of the things that we really like to do when we're watching movies is we do kind of review them. I do have a Letterboxd account. I'm really bad at updating it. You know, I like to give, like, Joe Everyman reviews of movies. Right here. So we do, after the movies, we will talk about... Fuck you, Shaka! Piece of shit. Fucking asshole. I hope you're feeling better, by the way. Not for selfish reasons, but I hope you're feeling better. This fucking asshole. Let it be known right now, if you weren't on my stream Friday night, Shaka and I are feuding. No, we Shaka and I'm putting on Twitch, there's a fuck you Bones button, right? I'm putting a fuck you Shaka for the remainder of 2025. We are in a feud for the entire year. I love him dearly, but we are fighting for all of 2025. As for, I think somebody asked about Omega. So here's the thing with Omega. And I know you're talking about like Arnold's video, right? Arnold's video, when he put out this video that had to do with the nihilist thing and these unintended interactions. I come from an MMO background. I've been playing MMOs. My first one was Star Wars Galaxies. I've also played EverQuest, but I played it after. I am so used to monthly balance changes. And I played MOBAs. I'm used to balance changes. Balance changes make sense to me. I understand why balance changes are harder to do in games like this, because a very large amount of money goes into purchasing a character, right? So I understand that it's a lot harder to say, hey, this thing happened and we need to fix it, because people are spending up to 200, 300, 150, whatever it is, amount of dollars to get a character in the first day. When I saw I didn't watch the video, but when I saw the video come out, I knew, I was like, this is definitely going to be nerfed. They did it with Traya. You know, they did it with, I think there was that Dark Trooper issue with C. I think they did it with another character. I don't remember who it was. I knew that was getting nerfed. I do feel for the people that spent money, and I do think it is unfair to those people that this happened, especially so early on. You know, the difference between like the Leia and the Rolo thing is like that was years later that they found out about it. But I do think it's a huge struggle in balance. A lot of people said, "Oh, this was like an interaction that they should have seen coming." I'm not a major theory crafter. I know that there are people who theory craft way more than I do. I know one of her specials has that, like, where is it? The cooldown reduction thing. Is that here? I don't remember. Is it Big Sister? Yeah, Big Sister. I personally didn't see the interaction when I first saw the kit. But that's because I don't think of things like I think of how can I break the game for TB, but I don't think of like, oh, how can I put a light side Bad Batch with a Sith? So I didn't see it as something intuitive. I do think that there is something to be said about some degree of testing, right? There are 200 some on accounts in this game, or characters, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So 35 times 8, I'm not doing that math, not in my head. There's almost 300 accounts in this, characters in this game at this point. So I do get that it is really hard to balance check every interaction. And I don't believe that CG doesn't test. But I do believe they probably only test the most expected interactions, right? They're not going to go, let's try Bad Batch with Stormtrooper Han. Let's try Bad Batch with a Sith. And I do think that there is something to be said about the lack of a testing server, the lack of a way for people to test. And I do think that it is incredibly important for a game like this. So incredibly important for a game like this. Especially when you have so many kits, and especially when so much money goes into each character. It sucks. Fuck that guy that leaked all that stuff thinking that things would work out in our favor. It didn't work out in our favor. We got screwed. I was not part of the Game Changers program, so I don't know how much sway those players had towards like people actually saying, oh, hey, this is whatever, let's fix it. But there's another way they can fix this, right, with a testing server. But it would require them completely changing their development cycle. I know in MOBA games, they have a public test realm where the character's announced already. You know, if you announce Omega 2 weeks early, if you announce Omega 2 weeks early and then put Omega on a public test realm, maybe not even public. Public is nice, but like, you know, you open it up to a couple hundred people who are like really well known in the community. You put it on a public test realm for 2 weeks. We're going to call it public test realm, even though it's not a public test realm. Let those people fuck around with it for 2 weeks and figure out what those unintended things are. And then when you release it, you're able to say, okay, these are the fixes that we made. This was the kit. These are the things that we changed over those 2 weeks. Now she's being released. I don't know if the leak changed that though, man. We don't know that for sure, that the leak changed that. We've seen things get released and then get walked back because of outcry. So could the leak have prevented that from happening for a week or two? Yeah, sure, why not? But that was always going to get walked down as the player base blew up about it, if that was a thing. Because I don't remember that personally, but I don't keep track of changes the way that people think that they do. Like right now, Batcha, they've already announced Batcha. There's literally no reason why they can't throw Batcha on a public test realm. Oh, the interactions don't work out the correct way right now. It doesn't matter. It's a test realm. There's no fleet arena. There's just, this character has to be in, we're testing this character. This character has to be in the squad. Plus whatever 4. Try out whatever other 4 characters. I just think that is something that they do need to do ahead of time, especially for things that are costing people tons of money. Because if you go into this spending $200 and you get burned, you are much more likely to quit, and you are much more likely to say, fuck you, I don't trust you anymore. I don't want to put my money into it anymore. And I love that we're having this conversation, because these are all like, my wheels are turning for posts on different things that I might even sit down and make 1 or 2 of them today for Reddit. But I do think that there needs to be a degree of that. Even if it's, look, a month in advance. Tell me about Omega a month in advance. Even if they're using placeholder images, even if they're using placeholder animations during that testing phase, so that on announcement day they can release the actual stuff. Even if they just say, hey, this is a Bad Batch unit. It's not, we don't know, we're not going to tell you who it is. It's a Bad Batch unit. Here are some abilities with no names on them. Ability 1, ability 2, ability 3, ability 4. This is how these things work. It might actually even get people talking about the character more and more excited to say, ooh, I think it's this character. Ooh, it might be that character. that's another thing is things need to be fixed. I had this conversation. Nomad and I were sitting over a beer having this conversation about Ahsoka. It is insane to me that there are so many issues with Ahsoka, and they just released it right in the middle of their blackout period and said, "Okay, good luck. Have fun." And now you're like 6 weeks out from Ahsoka and going, "Wait, where are the fixes for this? Where are those coming from?" And it really does suck. I have been mostly positive on CG lately. Positive adjacent on CG lately, not 100% positive. I do give them a lot more credit lately, but I do think that it was a really, 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 it's a really, really poor way to go about something that can have so much money attached to it. And that's dangerous, As a player, it's dangerous to me to not be able to trust that my money is going to the thing that I want it to go to for the reason that I want my money to go towards that thing. So I definitely do think that is a big deal. Wow, I thought that was going to be a quick topic, and here we go. We're like 20 minutes later talking about this shit. But now I have I think I did a post about public test realms about a year ago. But I don't know. All I know is that I have a quote from Meathead that says that it's really hard to ignore Egnards. So maybe we'll draft up some stuff and try to get some chatter and some people talking some more about this stuff in reasonable and in smart ways. And there's been no addressing on the Ahsoka. I don't really know what the Ahsoka issues are because I don't have her yet. I'm too poor. But I do know that there are issues, and I am aware that there's a bunch of things in her kit. And I really wish that they'd increase the speed on those animations, because that team has such slow animations, and just watching the animations to me was so mind-blowingly boring to sit there and see those things being done. Ooh, BioShock 2 for free. I've said this to Meathead before. I've said it straight to, not to his face, but I've said to him, when you first came into the game, you were very tone deaf. And you were making jokes that you didn't earn the right to make jokes yet, and pissed a lot of people off. But you have done a really great job since then to become a real big part of the community. And I do give him a ton of credit. I don't know if you've ever seen Mythic Quest. They have a community manager, and she's in the basement, and nobody likes her at the company, and she's always getting shit on by the players. And that is basically Meathead. Meathead's job is to... people think Meathead's job is to tell us everything, and that's not what it is. Meathead's job is to relay the information that he's allowed to relay, and to relay back to CG the information that he gets from the community. But that doesn't mean that people are going to listen, right? He could say, oh, everyone in the community wants this, but it doesn't mean that the people who make decisions are going to make that decision. It just means that they now are aware of it. He's done a great job. He did a video for us for the Gungies. He's announcing the Content Creator of the Year award. It was a very, very, very funny video. To me, out of all of the videos I've so far received, his is the second best one. That, to me, was it was hilarious. Mary J, I saw that on, I think on my Friday night stream. I think it was on my Friday night stream. Maybe it was on Scribes. I don't remember which stream I saw it on, but good for you on getting out, to me, I don't hate the game. I don't hate the game. I enjoy the game, but I do get why a lot of people, do feel frustrated by a lot of it. And it is It is time consuming. Oh my god, I had shit luck today. I have gone 0 for 8 on punishing one today. 0 for 9 actually. And I went 0 for 10 on Sabine this morning, which pissed me off. That was terrible. Maybe you could just run my GACs for me, because I don't want to run them. I hate GAC, but now I need to do them because I need the crystals. Now I need the crystals, so I'm gonna try and play more seriously. Maybe I get Fire Marshal to do it. Just log in and get Bones to do it. He seems to think that he's the end all be all. Yeah, it's been rough on these farms. Even actually Maroc. I really don't want to tell people this because they're gonna start flipping out. But where is he? Is he a mercenary? Yeah. I went 0 and 15 on him when I was 98 out of 100. I went 0 for 15 and then got 2 in a row. And I was so fucking annoyed. So fucking annoyed. But I have disproven the shard thing, so fuck any of you that are going to say, like, oh, the shards, blah, 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 blah. He'll rant for 5 hours. That's actually why I can't get people to do my GAC for me, is I feel like if I give them my account, I like to log in at random times. I'm one of those people who will be like, oh, let me check this, and I go, oh, fuck, I'm on it on the screen. So it is what it is. All right. Fire Marshal, I appreciate it, buddy. Just in time for the Gungies. So, a couple announcements. We got a lot of people here, and I appreciate it every time we have a lot of people here. Number one, before we leave, the Gungies are this Friday, 7:30 Eastern. It's very exciting. I've been putting it and compiling it for the last week, and Moonborn has been in overdrive putting together stuff for it. It'll be on YouTube and Twitch. I recommend watching it on YouTube because I control the ads easier and we will not be running ads at all. Twitch, it's more finicky to control them. So I would recommend either watching on YouTube or subscribing. But, one of those options is free and one of those options is not free. So I don't blame people for wanting to take the free option. It makes sense. But I am super, super, super stoked about the Gungies. Number two, we talked about this. So Jar Jar, here's what you can do. If you go over to Discord, on our Discord, and you hit events, this will show your time. This will show it in your local time. That gets situated to your local time. So you can check on what the exact time will be for you. I'm not about to start converting different things. There will be a replay, obviously, so you'll be able to work it out. Maybe I'll get Nena to do timestamps for me because I'm not going to be able to run timestamps while controlling all of the things that this is going to be requiring me to control. But super, 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 super pumped about that. Number two. Again, I will say as my own self-promotion, buy me a beer, right? I can't click past this page because it has people's information. We started doing memberships. I don't expect people to do this tier unless they want to literally video chat with me every month and get one-on-one help, and that makes sense. But I tried to put together tiers that were reasonable and had decent help involved with them. I'm probably going to get rid of my YouTube memberships because they're just a pain to deal with, and do everything through Buy Me a Beer. It's got lower fees than Patreon. If you have any ideas of things you'd like to see there, let me know. Be like, hey, I'd really love to see this stuff. I'm really trying to put value there. So check that out and let me know what's going on with that. Number three, I don't actually have a number three, other than we are going to start GAC. I don't know if I'll be streaming it because I don't generally have time to stream on the weeks, but maybe I'll stream GAC more often, and we're going to get out of our turtling, which I'm nervous about, but I am also excited about doing and trying that out. Let's see who's online, shall we? I think Womprat is online, isn't he? Let's check it out. Let's get her. You know what? Womprat. Let's see. Yeah, let's go over to Womprat. I will send I will send him feet pictures just for the hell of it. I send feet pictures on Discord anyway. Okay. Should we raid Womprat who's coloring, or this random guy who's playing GAC who I don't know if he talks. I don't see his face. Sabato 00. Do we make his day, or do we say hi to Womprat? I'm inclined to say the Womprat because you can at least interact with him. Can't interact with a guy that only talks about. Oh, well, now that the Womprat is here, we have to raid him. Since he's here, I'd feel bad otherwise. And I will see you guys on Friday night for the Gungies. Probably not before that, but definitely Friday night. Thanks for joining me for brunch.